I'll do since we're recording now. Thanks for being here. This is the graduate school pathway presentation for this semester, and Lynn Pratt's going to take it away. So thanks for being here, Lynn.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. I know that we are coming up on midterms, and so your time is precious, and I really appreciate that. This will be recorded, as Bob said. We'll see if it makes it to the website. A student asked me, why don't all of the pathways make it to the website? And it really just depends on how squirrely we get in the presentation. So we will see what happens. Cheryl had sent out the list of presenters. Oh, good. And Dr. Aberly is here. I want to go just a little bit out of order. So I'm going to do a quick overview on all of the graduate programs that we offer in ECEE. And then I would like to bounce it over to Dr. Aberly to talk about careers. So grad school versus careers. And then we'll start doing a deeper dive on each of the grad school options. So let me pull up my presentation. And since I'm working on my laptop, it's always hard. All right, are we seeing presentation mode?
Looks good.
Awesome, thank you. So degrees in ECEE, there's a lot of them. And there's slight variations in each of them. So the most popular one that we have is the electrical engineering MSE. That's the direct continuation on from your bachelor's in electrical engineering. The next flavor of that is the MS degree, which is thesis. We also have an electrical engineering media arts and sciences, MS and PhD. So this is a concentration that focuses on arts, media, and engineering and how it intersects with electrical engineering. We, of course, have the electrical engineering PhD program. And then this is where we start to get a little fun. The computer engineering program. This is a combination of electrical and computer science, and Dr. Reislein will be talking about that in a little bit. Our newest program is the Data Science, Analytics, and Engineering program. So that includes math, computer science, mechanical engineering, human-centered applications, almost anything within engineering. And we also have the Robotics and Autonomous Systems master's program, which is very controls-based, and we'll be talking about these a little bit later. The program chairs for electrical engineering, data science, and robotics were not able to join us today, so I'll be presenting on those programs. And it's important to note that all of these programs that I just mentioned are in person only. Well, except for the EEMSE, that is online, but everything else is in person. We do also have a concurrent program with the MBA. So this is only online. And if you are interested in getting your master's in electrical, but also growing along that management track, this might be the program for you. And we can always talk more about that. So before we do a deep dive onto these programs, I'm going to pass it over to Dr. Aberly, one of our esteemed faculty, to discuss options for stuff other than grad school, the traditional grad school. Take it away, Dr. Aberly.
Thanks, Lynn. Yeah, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about thinking, hard about what it is that you want to do with your life. And can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, so the big question is, do you really want to be an engineer? I mean, this is something that you really need to ask yourself before you continue down the path of graduate school in electrical engineering or other engineering discipline. I want to tell you, life is short. You need to enjoy your work. It seems like just yesterday I was 25 years old and now I'm almost 65 years old. So life is short, and if you're not enjoying what you're doing, it's a big mistake in my mind. Completion of a BSEE degree opens many paths to enjoyable work. I think that there are many other things that you might do with this degree other than go to graduate school in electrical engineering. Now, I'm a person that I think had a knack for engineering, so I was knew I was going to be an engineer long before I went into school for engineering. And maybe you're in that position too, but others may be pursuing a BSEE for a bunch of other reasons. Some may have heard that it's a good job, high paying job. Others might be doing it because of family pressure. Others might have just, somehow ended up here, tossing a coin. So you really need to think about why it is that you pursued the BSEE. Did you enjoy your undergraduate program? Were there aspects of it that you really liked and would like to go further?
There was someone for spinner training.
Sorry. So there are various things that I know about that other persons who've gotten bachelor's degrees in electrical engineering have done, other than gone to graduate school for electrical engineering. One of the ones that used to be very popular because the career path was very lucrative was to become an intellectual property lawyer. And I know several people who got their BSEE and went on to very nice careers as intellectual property lawyers, patent attorneys, etc. I know of at least one guy who actually got a PhD in electrical engineering and then decided it really wasn't what he wanted to do for the rest of his life, and he became a criminal defense lawyer. I know more than a few who became medical doctors. This is an excellent, if you really like medicine, this is a great career path for individuals because you've got the deep technical background from your bachelor's degree. Some medical schools will give you an advanced program, waive course requirements, etc. when you have a technical degree. I know others who've become venture capitalists. These are usually individuals who were interested in electrical engineering, got a degree, but they came from wealth and they wanted to use their degree in order to improve technology by funding new ventures and risking some capital in order to do that. Obviously, you need to have enough to keep yourself comfortable if you're going to risk some in the hope of a successful venture. There's a lot of electrical engineers who ultimately go into the sciences. In particular, we have, of course, here the School of Earth and Space Exploration, and physics seems to be a natural add-on to an engineering program, in particular, something like radio astronomy, where there's a lot of knowledge of electrical engineering required. And many have become managers of engineers. Perhaps they have a good enough understanding of engineering, but they would prefer the management aspect and move up the corporate ladder, so to speak. And these become managers of engineers, and typically that involves getting a MBA. And I believe we have some degrees here where one could get a joint master's degree and MBA. Master's degree in engineering and MBA. The one thing that I would say is that when you consider getting an advanced degree, you can get a master's degree or you can continue on and get a PhD. I would say that if you wanted to remain a technical person, if you wanted to make a technical contribution to the company that you're working for or the government agency or whatever employer you ultimately end up working for, I would say a master's degree is absolutely essential for remaining as a technical person. I know a lot of people with master's degrees that are every bit as technically adept and competent and knowledgeable as people with PhD degrees. So I would say a master's degree is an absolute must for the technical path. We, of course, have the MSEE degree, which is a non-thesis option. And we also have the 4+1 program that you should, if you wanted to remain as a technical person or have a deeper technical background, I think that's something that you should consider very seriously. I would say that the PhD degree is really only essential for an academic career. Now, having said that, I will also point out that there are some companies, and Intel is one that I know about, that do greatly value their employees who have a PhD degree. But the only one where, you know, the doors are closed unless you have this degree is academia. And that's why I pursued, personally, that's why I pursued a PhD degree, is because I wanted to go into academia. And a PhD degree is absolutely essential for an academic career. So another thing that you might consider doing is getting a graduate degree in another engineering or science discipline. If you've achieved a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering, and there's other engineering disciplines that you find intriguing, you know, BME, for example, it is possible to move into a graduate degree in those other engineering or science disciplines. To do that, of course, you'd need to consult with the program advisor in those programs and make sure that you fulfill any requirements for undergraduate classes that are required. And that's basically all I have to say. In summary, what I would like you to think about is, as you consider graduate school, is this something, are you enjoying the electrical engineering? Do you want to remain in a technical path? Are there some other doors that might be open to you with your BSEE degree that you might want to go through? So with that, Lynn, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Aberly. We've got a question in the chat for you. From a career perspective in electrical engineering, is there a benefit to the thesis option, or is that more for academia?
Yeah, so I would say that a master's thesis is probably not going to be a necessity unless you wanted to go into a PhD program. Actually, you could even go into a PhD program without an MS, without a master's thesis. A lot of times, so a typical situation is a student pursues a master's degree, gets a thesis, uses that thesis as the qualifying exam for their PhD program, and then enters into the PhD program. Some students decide in the middle of their MSE program that they do want to go on for a PhD. They do want to switch to a thesis option. And but I would say I don't see from a career perspective, if you wanted to go work for a company, for example, that a master's thesis would have any great advantage over a non-thesis option. Yeah.
Great, thank you so much. If there are any other questions, go ahead and put them in the chat, and we will answer them the best that we can in between presenters and at the end of the presentation. Next, I'm going to pass it over to Dr. Riceline to talk about the computer engineering degrees. So give me 1 second to get those slides shared.
Yes, so good morning and welcome to a few words about computer engineering. You may be wondering what computer engineering is all about, as you're coming from the electrical engineering program. Maybe go to the next slide. The computer engineering program, I'm the program chair. I'm housed in electrical engineering here, but the computer engineering program, as we see in the next slide now, is really an interdisciplinary program that bridges between electrical engineering and computer science. So we are part of the program housed in ECE in Goldwater, and the other part is housed in Sky in the Brickyard. You see here those topics that are on the screen. computer engineering essentially comes into play whenever the computing is so demanding and the physical constraints of devices are so small, so restricted, that the computing, the algorithms hit against the physical limitations. Think of the smartphones. Essentially, you have a supercomputer in your pocket. So it's very, very important to devise the algorithms and the hardware, the circuitry jointly, collaboratively, to ensure that algorithms and the hardware and the circuitry are jointly optimized to cooperate in the best possible way. Only then can you achieve these wonders of modern communication that we have everywhere nowadays. And so in this spirit, you see here these 5 areas. These are the main communication CEN areas. So it spans from autonomous systems, robotics, communication networks, signal processing, to VLSI, and then to dependable circuits, dependable systems. And around these, you see in yellow then these other areas that are feeding into and being informed by these main areas. Maybe we should talk about a program a bit more. The next slide, I believe we have a little bit, right? Lynn, if you go. Yeah, so we have these 2 core requirements. Is EEE 554, it's random processes, stochastics, and then it's the algorithms from CSE 551. So these are the 2 core requirements you must take here at ASU in the program. If you've taken those already earlier in your undergrad, that's fine too. Also in preparation for this, it's a smart choice for all the electrical engineers to take the data structures during your undergrad if you can. So take the CSE 310 discrete mass if you can to prepare for the 551 in CSE. Beyond that, then there are area courses then to take, and then the electives. Also should mention that the CEM program is quite flexible in designing independent studies, so you can take a large portion of your courses through in the PhD program through reading and conferences that are tailored to your research area. And we also have very flexible internship programs. And I guess I'm running out of time. That's why the slides disappear. No.
No, I just accidentally clicked something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but I guess anyway, I'm pretty much done. Also, this is a graduate program, so it has a master's component, it's a PhD component. Master students are usually going for internships and then on to employment in the area, topic area. The internships are very flexible. You can go during the summer, during semester, have to meet the usual requirements though with GPA and time in the program. PhD is very research oriented, so has low course requirements. And through those reading and conference courses, you can tailor it with your research advisor very specifically to your research topic. Have I forgotten anything, Lynn?
No,
Lynn knows everything about the program.
So students, you're going to see a theme here within all of our graduate programs. For your bachelor's program, you are told generally what to take and when to take it. Notice here that the degree requirements, you've got core courses, you've got to take these 2, and then area courses. You choose them. You've got electives. You choose them. We give you a framework in which to decide these courses, and we give you the pre-approved list. But we're always open to hear other suggestions in what you are interested in. Let's see if I can back it up a slide without ending the slideshow. Talking about these CEN areas, some of these words are going to start sounding familiar to you based off of the pathway courses that you are taking. So for example, if you are going to be taking 333, 34, 35, and you love circuits, then the VLSI architecture and embedded systems area would probably be of most interest to you. You know, dependable, distributed, dependable, and secure systems, very networks, communication systems, programming, data science stuff. So there's a lot of overlap in our programs, but they all are based off of your undergraduate degree. So notice what you like and what you don't like, and then we can always find a graduate program that you're interested in. And this semester with the presentations, I did something new and I included our students. So this picture is of Benjamin Willis. He did his bachelor's degree with us in electrical engineering. He did 4+1 with computer engineering and continued on to PhD in computer engineering. And he just recently graduated. So we have options for you to continue your education however you want with us.
And this flexibility also allows you then to specialize if you're a particular internship or company you're targeting. You can acquire this background here very flexibly in the CEM program.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at the chat. See if we've got any questions for you, Dr. Riceline. For EE students interested in 310 to prepare for CSE 551, is it necessary to take all the CSE 310 prereqs? That is something that if you want to just take the class traditionally, yes, prerequisites are required. If you're in 4+1, which we can talk about later, we might be able to make some things happen.
Mm-hmm.
So always talk to us. Sometimes the answer is going to be, no, you have to take the classes. Sometimes we might be able to make something work. So just keep us updated about your goals and your needs.
Yeah. So it's always talk to advising early and often. Yeah, they are your biggest help here. And taking the course certainly is helpful, but these days is all the material that's out on the internet. It's also relatively easier than ever to prepare on your own. For instance, Mass 243, Phoenix College, we was ASU, yes, but Phoenix College, community colleges have a very solid, very well structured discrete math program course in their open online courses. So you can work through the materials, acquire the content, maybe even get a credit if you want. But there's course material out there to learn those topics, or you take the course in your undergrad program if possible.
Absolutely. And then here's a question I've been getting asked, like, I swear, at least 3 times a week for the past couple of weeks. I don't know what is going on. There is a lot of interest for the computer engineering program to be online. Dr. Riceline, what do you think?
Oh, yeah, I'm all for it. I mean, unofficially, right, we can almost make it work because many of the courses are online already. So I think we've had a few students who kind of started in person and finished up online. So there are options. So if you are specifically interested in the online CEN option, please voice your interest. The more interest we hear, the more we can push for making this an online program as well. And again, things, if you talk to us, things can be worked out also to kind of make it pseudo online or some hybrid form. Or
Mm-hmm. And the CS courses that are online were previously offered through Coursera, but now they're offered through ASU, which is going to make it easier for us to adopt that program to be online. So just keep an eye out on your emails and the ASU websites for updates to these programs. All right.
Any other questions? Yeah. All right, thank you.
David says, I definitely would have wanted to do CEN coming from an IT background. It would make the most sense if it were possible. Yep, and we see that with a lot of our online students.
Maybe you can go into this in the, I mean, in the undergrad, it's not an option, but in the grad program now. Yeah.
Yeah. David, reach out to me and let's see what we can make happen.
And I think David, you actually were an undergrad TA for me in 120, and he is, I think you're remote, right? So we can most likely work this out. So please get in touch with Lynn and we'll work on it, okay?
Great. Well, thank you for being here, Dr. Riceline. I appreciate it.
Bye.
Okay, now we are going to talk about electrical engineering. So let me get back to these slides. Okay. So you'll notice with these degree programs, they're all slight variations of electrical. The electrical engineering degrees are the direct continuation on from your bachelor's degree. So computer engineering is a combination of electrical and computer science. The electrical engineering degrees are purely electrical. So let's take a look. So this is the program chair, Dr. Kazicki. He unfortunately could not be here today. So you all have to listen to me talk about this program with my very boring American accent when Dr. Kazicki to you with a Scottish accent. He apologizes for not being here, but he's always open to speak to students. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and reach out to him. His contact information is on the website, and you can always email me if you need information or how to get in touch with any of the faculty. So the electrical engineering specific degrees, we've got the EEMSE and the EEMS, that's thesis, EPHD, and then we have our concentrations within the media arts and sciences programs. And then we have our online concurrent EE and MBA program. So we have options for everyone. The degree requirements are going to vary if it's PhD or MSE, 10 classes for the MSE degree, and PhD is 6 classes. And notice how in CEN, we listed some of the classes you have to take. And for EE, we haven't. So what classes do you take? It's going to depend on your area of specialization. The areas of specialization match the pathways. So these emails that Cheryl has been sending out where we're introducing you to these concepts and how we've organized the classes. The 300 level classes are your pathway courses into your technical electives, those 400 level classes. So if you're interested in circuits, like I said, for 333, 34, and 35, that would be the mixed signal circuit design. If you're interested in electromagnetics and you were like 241, loved it, then you're going to want to take some classes within the electromagnetics field. Electric power and energy systems, that would be EE 360. Physical electronics and photonics, EE 352. Signal processing and communications, EE 350, and control systems, EE 304. So as part of your bachelor's degree, you are required to take pathway courses. You choose which ones you want to take, but we want you to get a good little mix of everything. That's important because they're prerequisites for the 400 level classes, but it also helps inform you of what you do and what you don't like. So that way you can figure out what you want to do and if you really want to be an electrical engineer, like how Dr. Aberle was saying. So I don't have a fancy slide with all of the circles like I do for CEN and the other programs of, the areas within electrical engineering, but they do all overlap. So an example that we like to give is what's required for your cell phone to work. You need everything within electrical engineering. So that's why we want you to take a little bit of everything because that makes you a well-rounded electrical engineer and it makes you more hireable and desirable in the future. So keep that in mind. You might say, I only really love this one area. I want you to take something else just in case. All right, branch out, make sure that you have a good understanding of all things electrical engineering. And then, oh man, I did it again. We'll just go to this slide real quick. To continue on my stories of the students, this is Nayeli Velez Cruz. She just earned her PhD from us. And at the same time as earning her PhD, she's earning a PhD in biological sciences. Something you would not think is combined with electrical engineering. But that's the cool thing about research. Basically, anything can be combined. So we do allow our students to do concurrent programs. And if that's something you're interested in, let us know. I'm going to continue on into the rest of our programs and then straight through for 4+1 and answer all the questions at the end. So let's get into robotics. So the robotics program, once again, obviously, I am not Dr. Redcar. He is unable to make it today. The robotics program is across 5 schools within engineering. So he has a lot of responsibilities trying to promote this program, and he has to be multiple places at once. So the robotics program, you know how computer engineering is a combination of electrical and computer science. Robotics is a combination of electrical, mechanical, computer science, bioengineering, and systems engineering. So you take a little bit of everything. It's really cool. So some of the areas that are in the robotics program, those are the 5 schools that I just said, and then how they branch out and how they connect. So this program for us is very heavily based in control systems and signal processing. So if you loved 203, 304, and you're really interested in some of those mechanical and robotics applications, this is going to be the program for you. We have a lot of students that are focused on autonomous vehicles within this program, drones, foldable robotics, and medical robotics. There is also a lot of machine learning and AI within this program because some of these devices, they need to be able to operate a bit on their own to be as efficient as possible. So learning a lot is going to be beneficial for this field because students in this field are getting hired companies like Amazon and Tesla and other EV battery companies here in the Valley. It's really interesting. So this is a mix of 5 things, right? If you're the type of student that says, I like this and this and this and this, and choosing a major was really hard for you, this might be the program for you. And that's because you have to take a bunch of different classes. So we start you off with some mechanical or engineering classes. These 2 core classes that you have to take is linear algebra and robotics 1. And then you have to take our concentration courses. So EE 582 is a controls-based course. And then another class from a long list of courses. And then electives. So you'll notice the theme here. It is up to you what you take. We give you the framework and you decide what you want to learn and specialize in. So this student here, this is Mohammed Sabet. He earned his bachelor's degree with us, and he did 4+1 with the electrical engineering program because the robotics program didn't exist at that time. But he was so focused on robotics. He did a Fury project with one of our faculty focusing on robotics and drones. So there's a lot of applications and a lot of research and interest with the electrical engineering faculty that you can get involved in research topics and fun things outside of the classroom that relate to your interests. Let's go to data science. So also, I am not wrong, Pam. He's our graduate program chair for this program. And just like Dr. Redcar, this is a large program and he's got many places to be. Now, computers engineering is electrical computer science. Robotics engineering is electrical and 4 other things. The data science program is electrical and 7 other things. So it just keeps growing of what are you interested in and what do you want to focus on. So the data science program has 8 concentrations, and they are electrical, mechanical, aerospace, human-centered applications, civil and sustainable engineering. Oh no. AI. And then 2 concentrations that are essentially math degrees. So I got all 8. But once again, this is a little bit of everything. So there's a lot of industrial engineering, data analysis, optimization, math. This is really heavily a math degree. So if you're like, I love math, because you're a crazy person, this is the degree for you. You take a little bit of everything. So we want you to have a very broad understanding of all things data science, analytics, and engineering. The program requirements for this, I know this looks like a lot of courses, but it's really not. You take one of these 3 courses, one of these 3 courses, and then one of these courses. See how many options you have? You choose. Required concentration course for this program is 554, which is a continuation of 350. So very math, stats, probability. And then once again, classes from a very long list. So you take a look and decide, you say, okay, I really want a degree that matches my undergraduate program, but has more mechanical focus, more computer science focus. That's where you choose which courses you want to take. And that's where you customize your degree. So this picture is a student that recently graduated from us. He was a PhD student in electrical engineering, Andrea Pinchetti, but he was working on his PhD under Dr. Shankar. And she is one of our leading faculty within electrical engineering for the data science program. So his research was very data science, even though we didn't have this program for him at the time. So once again, you can make your program what you need it to be for your goals and your interests. Let's take a look at the chat real quick, just in case, and then we'll get to the fun part, 4+1. All right, just a 4+1 question to me, and we will get to that right now. If you guys do have questions, feel free to put it in the chat. And provided I don't talk too much, which I often do, we might have time at the end for you to go, off mute and ask questions live if you want. So let's get to 4+1, the fun part. So you've probably heard us say this before, 4+1, 4+1. And you're like, what the heck is that? It does have a new name, and I always mess it up. So you're going to hear me refer to it as 4+1 or the Accelerated Master's Program, or AMP. So all of those mean the same thing. So Accelerated Masters. So as a reminder, this is the slide we looked at the very beginning. These are the degrees within electrical engineering. An Accelerated Master's obviously means you can't do an accelerated PhD degree. It's in the title, but we do have ways to get you through. If you say PhD is my goal, but I know I'm going to do the master's anyways, do the accelerated master's, because it's going to save you time on the classes. And I'm going to show you how in a minute. All of our master's programs have the accelerated master's option set up. It is important to note that the EEMSE is the only online program right now. So as you heard from Dr. Reislein, we can be looking into getting the CEN program online. I will warn you though, that process takes years. There has been a lot of interest in the data science program going online, but we just launched this program in person. So give us a minute, okay? We got to get some stuff sorted out with the program before we can move it to online. So you might be thinking, Lynn, I'm getting tired of this school stuff. I don't really want to be doing this anymore. Why? Why should I do it? And it's all about the money. So this is average salaries, 1 year, 5 year, and 10 years after graduation for EE students here at ASU. This is information given to us by the government. So 1 year post-grad, average starting salary is about $60,000. 1 year post-grad, average starting salary for a master's is $80,000. It's $20,000 difference. And when we think of your lifetime earnings over 10 years, look at that gap. Notice how large that is. So I know more school sounds daunting, and you're like, I really don't want to do it, but it is an investment in your future earnings. And that's why we push the accelerated masters, because I want you to start making more money faster. So here are our master's programs. The EE-MSE can be done in person or online, and all of our other masters can be done in person. If you are, oh, we'll get to that slide in a minute. We can play around with the campuses, as Dr. Reislein mentioned. So if we need to try and get as much done while you are an EE online student and then get you over to CEN in person for your last couple of classes, we can do that. So always talk to us first. So how's it all work? Taking less classes, saving money. What do you mean, Lynn? That's not educational system that we all know. Yes, it is. You're going to be sharing classes between your bachelor's and your master's degree. For your bachelor's degree, you have to take 15 credits of technical electives. That's the 400 level classes. So your 300 level classes are your credits for the 400 level classes, which are your technical electives, which are often the prerequisites for the graduate classes, the 500 level classes. So that chain of prerequisites is important to make sure that we're setting you up for success. So your technical electives, you have to take 15 credits. Of those 15 credits, 3 of those classes can be shared with the masters. You take the graduate version of those classes. You're going to be taking these classes anyways for your bachelor's degree. So you might as well just do it. Even if you sign up to do the 4+1 program, you take the graduate level classes, they count towards your bachelor's, and then you say, I'm really done, Lynn, I need it to be done. That's fine. You were going to take those classes anyways. At least you had the option. So we want you to have all of the options available to you. So why is sharing so beneficial? Why do we push this so hard? Well, I'm so glad you asked. Let's do some math. You guys were like, Lynn, this isn't a math class. Why are we doing this? Because it's fun for me. So I'm not really going to be able to see in the chat. So Bob, I want you to go off mute and tell me if they're doing math in the chat for me, okay?
Will do.
So you've got 120 credits for your bachelor's degree. Let's assume each class is 3 credits. 120 divided by 3 equals, oh no, you guys.
40. There it is.
40.
Thank you, Amanda.
40 classes for your bachelor's. And I know that's a rough estimate because some of your classes are 1 or 2 credits, some of them are 3, 4, doesn't matter. This is just a rough estimate. So 40 classes for your bachelor's degree. Now, all of our master's programs are 10 classes each. So 10 classes for your master's degree. And if you've already done 3, 10 classes minus 3 is, oh no, is no one answering?
No,
Bob?
Amanda and Amy said 7. Thank you very much.
Yes.
It's not a trick question. Sometimes you know how some of those exam and math questions, you're like, that is too simple. What are you talking about? It is truly 7. Okay, so
Professor
7.
Pratt, are they allowed to use a TI-83 graphing calculator for this?
Yes, absolutely. Because sometimes I do have to use a calculator for really simple math because you're like, my brain, I just don't trust it sometimes. So 7 classes remaining for your master's degree. 40 classes for your bachelor's. Just 7 more for your master's. You're not starting over. You're not starting fresh. We've already got 3 done. You've got 7 more. That's nothing in the big scheme of things, right? You just did 40. Let's just do 7 more and get it over with so you can start making more money faster. So like we were mentioning earlier, can I change campuses? Yes. We just really need to coordinate on this. You can't just go willy-nilly and go rogue, and we got to make sure that you're in the proper program, the proper campus. We have online students that complete their bachelor's online and then change to in-person for their master's program. When we have students in that situation, we always talk to them and say, is this the right move for you? Let's talk about your entire life, your finances. How was this benefiting you? How is this serving you? We also have students that get their bachelor's degrees in person and then get a really kick-ass job offer. And they say, I still want to get my master's degree, but I'm going to be working full-time. Change to the online BE/MSE. Absolutely. I want our students to have all of these options available, because if you get an awesome job and it's going to offer to pay for your master's, we should absolutely take advantage of that. So just talk to us. Half of the battle of getting a degree is navigating the educational system, right? The other half is passing your classes. This half, navigating the system. And that is what we as your advisors are here to help you with. We're the experts on that. Your faculty are the experts on passing your classes. So please talk to us. We really are nice people, okay? I promise you, I'm the weirdest one out of the bunch. So you don't have to talk to me if you don't want to, but talk to someone.
That's verified.
Yes. And so application process, what do you got to do to get into this? Well, you need a 3.25 for GPA. If you're interested in CEN, you need a 3.0. You need to be taking your 400 level classes in the next semester, and you fill out an internal application. That's it. People are always baffled by that, because we see all the time that applying to grad school is this big, scary thing. You have to take the GRE, you have to have letters of recommendation, you need all of this stuff. Not for this, you don't. This is extremely accessible. We want you to get this degree. Grad school is not scary at all. Applying to grad school, not scary. You just tell us what you want, and we will see what we can do to make it happen. So I'm going to end it here, and then we have time for questions. So if you're interested in this at all, reach out to us, eceegrad@asu.edu. You can also call our front desk. All undergraduate students do have the ability to meet with me if you schedule an appointment. And we also have our accelerated program website that has examples, sample applications, and all the rules and everything like that. To finish it off, this picture is of Patrick Shea. He just earned his bachelor's degree with us. He was going to do 4+1, and then a faculty member convinced him to do PhD. So he switched to that instead. So we have options. If you're saying, yeah, I'm doing 4+1, and then the next day it's something different, great. Let me know. It's not a problem at all. So let's take a look at the chat. Scroll up here. Okay, I want to do 4+1 from an EE bachelor's, but I want to pivot more towards the mechanical concentration of robotics. Is that possible, or does the EE bachelor's mean an EE concentration? Great question, Amanda. So yes, you do go into the RAS EE program, but the difference between RAS EE and RAS MAE is really just 2 classes. Your entire program can be essentially mechanical classes. So we can still make it work with you getting that mechanical content that you are interested in. Is changing from an online bachelor's to an in-person master's through 4+1, if changing, would the in-person classes start senior year of the bachelor's? No, I mean, unless you want to change in your senior year of your bachelor's. It just depends on when you want to change. So you just let us know and we can work that out. Elvis, oh, Elvis, you're so funny. 6 classes left if you reserve one as well, right? Yes, you've unlocked the secret right there. We didn't talk about reserve because most students do sharing, and it depends on which classes you're interested in. So always talk to us to see. It depends on which classes you're taking if you have room for reserved. Is the 4+1 same tuition price in the last year? It is not. So graduate school has a different tuition and fee structure. That's another benefit of this. You're going to be taking 3 graduate level classes at the undergraduate tuition rate. So you're saving money. You're saving money and time and getting stuff done. Yes, David, if all of your classes are 3 hours, you can share 3 and reserve 1. I think power is the only pathway where it actually works. David, do you want a job? Let me know, because you know it. Nathan, for the 4+1, the courses available for dual use, are they different between the 400 level and the graduate level, or is it the exact same course? It depends. We tell our faculty that the 500 level, the 591 version of the class, should have an additional component, assignment, grading scheme, something to differentiate it from the 400 level. Some do, some don't. If they do, it's not going to be a massive difference, though. It's just to help, distinguish it that it is graduate. If we apply for in-person 4+1 other than the EEMSE, but need to switch to online, can we also switch to EEMSE? Absolutely. Absolutely. We've got all the options. David, you watch our pathways? Oh my God, thank you. It feels so special. Okay. Anything else? What else do we have, guys? Yes, great question. So 4+1 is only for the master's programs here and not for programs such as construction management. Our bachelor's programs can only go into our master's programs for the 4+1. If you are interested in getting your bachelor's degree in electrical engineering and then doing the construction management program, you absolutely can do that, but it won't be part of the 4+1. You can also reach out to me about that. All of us grad advisors within Fulton, we're all friends. We all know each other, and we can get you connected with the right person to meet all of your goals. Can an online student transfer from a 4+1 program to an in-person program and transfer all the relevant courses over? For example, 4+1 MSE online to CEN in person. Yep. Absolutely. We just need to take a look and see what degree requirements you have left. How can we maximize benefits in this system for you to make it work? And then talk about the financial changes and your life changes. If you are not already living in the Phoenix area, what does it mean to move here? What can you expect? All that sort of stuff. Gosh, you guys are a good bunch. Let's see, Tony, Bob, did I miss anything? Anything else to add?
No, I appreciate all the great questions and that people were curious about it. I think it's clear. It's a great option.
There's a couple more questions, Lynn.
Oh, I missed them.
They just keep coming.
Benjamin has one.
Benjamin. So I'm an EE undergrad, my 2nd year, and I'll be going through the 4+1 for MSc, but I eventually want to do PhD. How feasible is it to navigate that as an online student, just so you can start your PhD while pursuing MSc as well? Yep, totally fine. We encourage all students, and this is important as an undergrad student, we want you to get involved with faculty and research. There are some faculty in which to be involved in their lab, you have to be here on campus because they have very specific software or equipment. Other faculty, they're able to have students remotely get involved with research. Reach out to some faculty that you might be interested in talking to and see what that would look like for you. Just going to take first 400 level classes next semester. Do you still have time to apply? Yes, you do, Landon. Take a look at our accelerated website. The application is on there and send that over to us. How do you get paid for research? Well, for that, you would need to be in person and full-time. We can have students do a thesis, master's thesis, and be paid for research, but most of them are PhD. So for that, you would need to be here. And how many credits are allowed for grads? So it's different. Full-time for graduate students is 9 credits. That's 3 classes. I know many of you are in a crazy number of credits to me, right? I live in the grad world. I see 3 classes on a student schedule and I'm like, ooh, you're busy. And then I look at all of your schedules and you're like in 5, 6 classes. I'm like, when do you sleep? So it's different on the grad side. The expectations for the classes are different as well. So we can always talk about what does it mean to be a grad student doing research and in classes. When you said 4+1 should be ready to go into 400s, what's a good benchmark? Should they have 3 pathways done? Or do they need to have finished something else? So yeah, having 3 pathways done is probably good. It really just depends on your individual plan. And I understand that for online students, your flow chart looks different, every single one of you, because you might have transfer coursework, you're taking courses 1 or 2Z, so it's very customized. If you're unsure, hey, when should I be applying for this? Reach out to me and we can come up with the exact plan for you. Ethan's asking the good questions. Ethan's doing that math. All right, so if your limit is 9 credits and you take 3 classes a semester, but then you need to do 7 classes to finish your master's, how do you do that? We give you an override to take 4 classes if you want in a semester, but we talk to you about what is your life going to be like? Are you going to have time to eat, sleep, and see the sun? Many of our students do 4 + 1.5. So they do 3, 3, 1. Or we've got students that say, no, for my personal goals and my financial needs, I'm doing 4 classes in a semester. All right, let's get that
And then
done.
that might be a good, so you'll notice the 4+ language is used less because of this. So a lot of time you'll hear us transition away from the 4+1 term to talk about accelerated master's programs, particularly for our online students who are going different time. That's less meaningful for you. So it's so Nathan, yes, it can be completed part-time. That's why we're moving away from calling it 4+1 and just saying, hey, it's just accelerated. You can share some stuff, you can reserve some stuff. So we're trying to be a little bit more, include everybody's situation, not just traditional freshmen to seniors, undergraduates to masters.
Absolutely. And so, yep, complete it part-time. Absolutely. When you're on the grad, you're in the grad program, all I need from you is for you to be taking at least 1 class a semester to keep you active. And for our online students that are working full-time, they take 1 class a semester. When I see first semester students that I know are online and working full-time in more than 1 class, I reach out to them and say, are you okay? What are we doing? How is life? Because I want you to be happy and successful in this program. I want you to enjoy what you're learning because that's the joy of the master's program. You've been told what to take for the past 4+ years for your bachelor's degree. But now you're telling us what you want to take, and I want you to enjoy it, and I don't want you to be suffering. So always talk to us. Is that overload allowed for all semesters of the master's? Yep. Just let me know. Yeah, exactly, David. That's grad college went through a whole focus group, and because 4+1 traditionally was just in person, and then we were using it online and they were like, you're doing what? And I was like, yeah, and you can't stop me. So they realized that they need to change and they need to get with the times. So we're all working on updating the language. And as usual, I have talked too much. We did not have time for anyone to go off mute to ask any questions. We are at time and I want to be mindful of everyone's schedule. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can always reach me at ecegrad@asu.edu.
Thanks, Lynn. Thanks very much for the awesome presentation and answering all these great questions, and students, thanks for asking them. So cheers to Lynn, cheers to the students for being here. So thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. This was one of the most engaging ones we've had. This was awesome.
Yeah, we appreciate your time and interest today.
Awesome.
Thanks
Well,
all.
thank you,
Thanks for that.
everyone. Have a great day.
Thanks.